when did you fall in love with comic books? When was that first time?
So I fell in love with comic books right off like at the age of 2 or 3. My uncle and my aunts, they were well into the cartoons, so the animated shows like Spider-Man: Amazing Universe, Batman series, Daredevil, the Incredible Hulk with Lou. I can't say his last
Lou
name, but
Ferrigno.
yes, thank you. So I grew up around that type of era, and I was like, "What is this?" And I was very interested in that aspect, and that's when they kind of introduced me to the comic book world. So my uncle had a big stack of X-Men books, some Spider-Man books, and I grew up, reading about some of the stories. And I think around that time, I was when the movies came on in the scene. So that's when we had our first X-Men movie, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, and so from that point, I just kind of grew from the combo where I said, wow, this is very interesting, and right off the bat, I fell in love with the both universes. I was more of a Marvel person myself, but I like DC as well. So I grew up watching, Justice League Unlimited. And then of course, on the other side, I watched the 90s, like Spider-Man show and, X-Men 90s show as well. So, but yeah, gotta blame it on my peers. They know what they were doing.
Yeah, DC animation is the best, top tier.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
always envy that. I was always like, man, if I had any animation, it's got to be like DC. Like, who's ever's doing this?
Yeah.
It's like Marvel don't have anything on them when it comes to the animation.
They had a little something in the very beginning, but it wasn't as
Not as
crisp, and it wasn't
consistent
as
as DC. Not as
yeah. They
and the
always change.
Batman, oh man,
Yeah,
different
exactly.
incarnations of Batman. Forget about it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. They always change as time goes by, and today, like
mm,
I still to this day, they haven't really matched with DC's animation, but you know.
so I seen you started with. Where are you from? What city are you from? Are you raised in?
So I live in the state of Virginia. I live in the DMV area, so I'm kind of like an hour away from DC. My folks originally came from New Jersey. They moved down here in Virginia in the '90s. So unfortunately, I never got the New York or Jersey experience because I was born after that era. But I live in Virginia, so I'm with all my DMV people.
Did you go to school for art, or
I
was it
did.
self taught? You did.
I did. A funny story is that I went to two different art schools. I went to the Art Institute that was in DC, and school didn't really last that long. They had lost accreditation, and so after I spent a little time with them, I transferred over to Full Sail University, which is in Florida. And I was studying art and animation, specifically computer animation, and of course Full Sail. So that was more into like the how the movies are doing it with the CGI and the 3D computer animation. So I was well versed into the entertainment world because growing up, as I said, I was watching the cartoons, I was watching. I was that one kid. You know how like back in the day with the when you have the DVDs, they have the behind the scenes featurettes and they
Yeah.
show like how to make the movies back then with the script and everything. I was that one kid. I was like, I got to see how they make this movie, and I will watch all the behind the scenes and the movie magic, all that case. So that's what kind of grew me into thinking, hey, I want to start working in the entertainment field. I want to work in the whether it's the movie industry, something animation, cartoons. This is what I knew that I wanted to pursue in the world of animation, and so that's what led me to pursuing through Full Sail and through Art Institute.
What kind of software you use in your animation? Is it like Blender? What? Or is it like
I
Adobe?
I use a couple of software. So for 3D stuff, it's Maya and Blender. I'm a little new with Blender, but I studied on under Maya and I think stuff was it Substance Painter, which is the when you create the textures with your 3D models. That's for the 3D animation. For 2D animation, I used to work with Adobe Animate. I did used to be called
Mm,
Adobe Flash. But then I transferred over to Clip Studio Paint because Clip Studio Paint that's what I used for my comic books. And then of course
mm.
they expanded it and they said you can do animation along with it. So I started dwelling on their animation stuff. So I kind of like mix in between Adobe and Clip Studio for most of my 2D animation and my books.
Okay. So if I want to do like come to you for like an intro, something, a little like 20-second, 30, that's within your scope, right? All
That's,
right.
that's what they have. Yep.
All right, I didn't know. I just thought it was the right end of the thing. I definitely know where to come because I just want to see my characters come alive. But I know I'm not ready for any full 60 minute or 90-minute movie or anything of that nature. But a little
Yeah.
intro and get the little trailer type action. I'm definitely ready for that right now. So I
Yeah,
definitely gotta keep you in mind. So anybody out there listening, TDJ Comic Studios also dealing with the animation. So hit them up if you got any trailers, any intros you got ready. So Tariq is your guy. So remember, I'm gonna be tagging him after this. The Kickstarter is live, and that's what we're getting to now. Flagship title called Atlas: The Rebellion. I really
yes,
like
sir.
the costume or the look of your hero. That's the first thing that caught me. Tell us a little more about your main protagonist and just speak to us as if we've never heard the title and we're not coming into that universe.
All right, so Atlas, Age of Rebellion is the flagship title. It's the first series that I created for a long time. I've worked on this project for 7 years. So if you don't know Atlas, it's this character I'm wearing on my shirt.
Nice.
His
Yeah.
his name is Eric Finley, and he's in a conflict between what happened with his mother. There was a crash. His mother went missing. She was working at this science lab, and so there's been ties on that the accident was not a mere accident, and people are, they kidnapped her mother, and they're called the elites, and the elites are these underground civilization, and these are people who are born with powers, and which he doesn't know is that he's actually one of them, and they call themselves the elemental race. So the world that he lives in, the world is born out of the four powers of the universe. So you have water, air, fire, and wind. So these are the people that started the beginning, and they created their own race, and these are people born with the powers, and so they want to wreak havoc. They want to start a elemental war because the time that they live in, they abuse their powers. They're eliminating their own race, and so they want to be they. Their goal is to wreak havoc and overthrow the government and stay on top of the world, so that they are the dominating species, so that they can be on top of the world. And so with Atlas, he's confronting with two battles: with finding his mother and stop this elemental threat that's occurring in his own city.
That's amazing. So Atlas, that's the one in the blue with the wave, that wave down the middle. Is that, when I started reading up on his power strength? Can you tell us a little bit more about his powers? How he attains his
Yes.
powers?
Yeah, so he has the powers of water, so he can convert himself into water or ice or gas. At this point in time, he controls ice, so he has the ability where he can manipulate himself into any form of shape he wants. So he can literally create weapons out of his own hands. So you see him in the combos that he can create like this cannon, this little gauntlet that he can just shoot water out of, or he can convert himself into ice, and he can create like spears to his enemies. So he is a very powerful enemy because he basically has the power of water, and he can do anything. He could basically confront with anybody that that comes against orders. So he can literally freeze somebody up to death. He can literally choke somebody with taking the air out of their lungs. So he's a very powerful enemy.
So yeah, I seen I was a great crossover with Solar the Sovereign because that was a perfect antithesis to his powers, which is all
Yes.
solar and fire based. I thought it was very organic and it made sense. So I really like
Yep.
that
Yep.
about young
Yeah.
guys. That was very Mario.
And it's ironic too because I actually helped the brother out, and he was creating his character, Soul of
Mm.
the Sovereign. And so I was basically the design person who helped out reinvent his character design. So it was a great opportunity, and he offered me to put it out there that we should gotta get his character together because literally it's like fire and ice. Why not? so
Definitely, I was like,
it was,
it would be a perfect like a half and half cover because it's just the perfect antithesis to each other. So
yep.
I definitely can. Tell us what we could expect on this Kickstarter because it looks like you have a paperback. You have about 4 issues. Let us know what's
Mm-hmm.
available to us.
So on our Kickstarter, we're not just doing one issue or 2 issues. We're doing 3 books, so 2 issues, and then we're wrapping all 4 issues of Atlas into one volume trade. This was just something in the works that I worked on the past year because I was working on this. So this is basically kind of like the conclusion to the first arc, which is the Elite Saga or part one of it. And so I decided to split the book because there's just so much action. So what you expect in the book, a lot of action, a lot of battles. And as we talk about the power sets with the characters, you definitely get to see how these characters use their powers in this book. And so I will check with issues 3 and 4. You're gonna get all the action, and there's gonna be some surprises. I won't say what some of the cliffhangers are, but just expect There's going to be some surprises in the book. And then
Okay.
the first trade, it's a like I said, it's a collection of the books. Plus, I got some behind the scenes on there, so we're talking at least 200 pages of content. So, three-fourths of that is the story. You're going to see some art behind the scenes, some character designs that I worked, displaying some of the characters, some of the world building involved with the story. So, you definitely get your money's worth with these 3 books. So, I encourage you guys right on the Kickstarter. You will not be disappointed.
So you're giving stuff that you liked in the DVDs with the behind the scenes. You're giving a lot some of that in this offering right now, right? So that's going to be in
Yes.
the trade paperback. How many pages can we expect in the paper? You know how many pages so far?
And the paperback,
Yes.
about 200 pages.
Ooh, 200. That's what I'm talking about. So you hear that,
Hmm.
everybody? You're getting the bang for your buck. 4 issues. That means it's serious. You see the artwork, ain't nothing to mess with. So this is gonna be something you guys don't want to miss. Don't miss this Kickstarter.
It's a it's a great experience working with the independent creators. It's such a great community. So, as we see a lot of the industry today, there's a lot of competitiveness going around. There's a lot of people trying to compete one another. With the independent creators that we have here, myself included, I love the community. I love the ideas of collaborating and just sharing ideas, just to kind of, improve ourselves and get ourselves out there. So it's definitely a warm, welcome experience working with all these creators. So, like I
Well, that
said,
will lead me into the next question. What do you love and what do you hate about the indie comic community? So that will be part of the things
yes.
of what you love.
So okay, so what I love about the indie community, like I said, they're very welcome, they're warm welcome, and so they're not ashamed to give out their expertise and helping out any way they can. I've worked with a lot of indie creators in the past in my career. I worked with people like Concrete, Wingless, The Wind, Black Sands, and just to name a few of them as a lot of my resume. But I worked with them for over these years, and I can say they were definitely a great environment to be in. So that's what I love about the indie community, that they're very warm, welcome, and they're always open for a window of collaborating and just meeting along together. One thing that I wish that they improve in the indie community is that, of course, there's some people that are not about collaborating. They're just out for just to make some change, so forth, and a lot of that sometimes is due to like people who are inexperienced. I do wish that in the community there was a way for people to educate more on stuff like when it comes to marketing, when it comes to production, especially those that are newcomers. They have no idea where to start from. I wish that there was a platform or a way for the creators to kind of like give the newcomers, something to be like, hey, since you're a newcomer, here's how to start. And then work with them and be able to commute with them. Because, like I said, there's a whole lot of indie creators. There's a whole lot of ideas and stories and some, well to get out. But if we just had just a platform or somewhere where people can just, learn
On their
how to start,
skills.
yeah,
Yeah,
improve their
on their
skills, improve their mindset, it would just go very smoothly. So
definitely. So
it's all part of the experience, and that's the thing I would like to inform the incoming creators that don't be ashamed of the experience. Like we said, we're all trying to grow together. We're all this for some of us is our first time getting into the publishing field and just learning the ropes. So don't be ashamed if your stuff is like not up to par, or you lack the experience, because each and every time as the years go by, you get better and better as long as you keep improving. That's what I tell a lot of my people that ask me questions about in terms of art, like how you get better at this, how you do so and so. You gotta practice. You gotta take the time and just hone your craft. If no one does it, who's gonna do it for you? And so and I also tell the people, if it's something you want to do, a dream that you want to make, if your dream is to turn this character into a dope series, then you gotta invest in that time, invest in that dream, because if no one's gonna do it for you except for yourself. So you gotta find the opportunity to make the time in your schedule to, if it's 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever the case may be, make it a reality. because again, this is a perfect time. We're in 2026, and man, I tell you, I share experience when I started launching into the independent field. It was right around when COVID happened, because before COVID, I was all about the main two publishers: Marvel, DC, Image, to Dark Horse, so forth. And then as time goes by, when COVID happened, the stories weren't that great. And so right around that time, I started seeing a rise of indie publishers. More importantly, people like me, Black publishers that are just like putting out their series. And I have to admit, some of their stories were even dope. I was like, that's awesome, and that's what gave me the idea. What if I, decide to make a series for myself? What if I decide to make this character, and put him into a dope series? And what if the people enjoy investing in it? And so, like I said, it's you whatever the dream is, the vision you have, don't be ashamed to put it out there. Make the effort, make the time. If it's something that you're passionate about, follow that passion. And I'm telling you, you'll be rewarded at the end. It may take a while to get to that point where you're happy and content about it. But if it's something that you're really devoted about it, you're gonna, it's the return investment at the end is gonna be rewarding. So I guarantee that.
My next question is on what do you love and what do you hate about comic book creation, the process and everything.
So what I love about creating comic books is, just flowing with that. So for me, I love just the ideas. So like for me, when I was creating Atlas, I just had like a well of ideas just flowing in my head. Said, what if this would happen? What if this character did so? Or, what happened at this time? So I love the idea of just getting ideas out on paper and be able to not only just visualize it, but how would it look? How would you present yourself? And the thing I love about comic books is it's a perfect blend between art and the writing. And so,
Right, mixture.
that because for me, when I was I'm a comic book reader first, and I'm a comic creator second. So when I judge upon what books I want to read, I always go for the art first. And of course, someone said it before, and I agree with that. A lot of times when people read the comic books, they'll get it for the art, but they'll stay for the writing because the art looks phenomenal, or it goes with the story, it fits the tone. But as you read the books, if the writing is on par and people are invested, that will make them come back for more. And so that's what I love about the comic creation. It's just that perfect blend makes people want more and more, because it's just there's two blends of art and the writing. And so that's what I grew about loving comics, because I'm already an artist. And for me, this is my first time writing a series, and just knowing the fundamentals of the writing, but kind of put my twist on it. That's what I enjoyed the most. Is just take this story, and what if this happens? What if I instead of this ending in this way, what if it happened a different way? So just the ability to just make your story spin and be able to make it entertaining and have people invested, I think it's a great opportunity. So that's what I love about comic creating. What I don't like about comic creation is it's very time consuming. And so for those that don't know my story, the Atlas series, this took me 7 years to create this book. And so with this comic series, I had this book
Great.
on the back burner. Yeah, so I had this series since I got in my teenage years. And a lot of times I put it on the back burner because I ran through a lot of these burnouts, because I'm like, this ain't working. I'm trying to get this story working, but it's not as original, or something just happened. And so that was my downfall, is that the story that it's very time consuming. And once you find the story, once you find the script and everything, then you got to get the pages together. And the pages, they take a while, especially if you're doing 30 something pages, and you got to get it done within a month, you got to get the combo done in 3 months. That's just, then it's
You're
impossible.
shooting a movie. You're shooting
Yeah.
a whole movie.
For the indie creators, I imagine a lot of us, we spend a lot of our free time on the combo. So you got life mixed into it. You got a 9 to 5 job. It's going to be very time consuming. I saw somebody on the chat say the same thing. It took them 38 years. Yeah, man. Again, it's just, a long time. Take combo creators. Yeah, combo creation is a while. And not only that, but if you're just like a first time creator, you got to learn the stuff. So you got to take the time to learn how to write a
Yeah, I don't care.
story,
Either you
how to
went to
draw
YouTube
characters.
University or you went to thing. You got to learn the
Yeah.
craft. Whether you can't
That's
cheat
it.
the system.
Yeah, like I said before, if the passion's behind it, if you're motivated to do that story or that series, it's good. That passion's gonna keep you going. And like I said, it's the return investment on that it is well worth it. And for
Yes.
me, when I did this Atlas book, the way the people have read the books in the series made me want to do more. I was like, okay,
Mm.
people are enjoying it. I love the creation. I might as well just keep on going because this is something that I'm passionate about, that I love to tell the story I'm telling. These characters I'm creating and the world building behind it. People are behind it, and I'm loving it myself. So that's what keeps me going. Yes, definitely what that guy said, Raphael. By the way, shout out to
Yeah.
Raphael, who's one of the creators. He said, "Learn world building." Yes, yes,
Let's keep
please
going, but we got to keep our
learn.
passion going. You're right.
That's
So yeah,
right.
you definitely. That's why any advice you would have for aspiring comic book creators that would lead us into that question.
Yes. So I guess I kind of said it before. You know, if you're passionate about something, I would say go for it. Make that passion, that dream a reality. There are no limits to what you can do. Like I said, back in the day, we didn't have the tools that we used to have. A lot of us had to stick with the traditional stuff. But we live in a world right now where it's 2026. We got all the different software, materials. Even if you're sticking with the pages, with the traditional pages. So shout out to my traditional artists out there. Not dissing y'all, but just saying there's no limits to what you can do. So if you're just starting out as like I said, you're a first time comer, there's no limits. Make that time to learn how to make a book and how to make a series. And not just be comic books. If you just want to learn about animation, you want to learn about writing a graphic novel, whatever the case may be, whatever that dream is, invest that time and make it a reality. Because again, we live in this postmodern world where anything can happen. It's 2026. Life is very short. And like I said it many times. If you have this great IP or a series and you don't do it, who else is going to do that series for you? No one is going to do it unless you make it a reality. So
Exactly.
whatever that project is, make it a reality. Invest that time. Find some time to do it in your schedule. Whether if it's, like I said, 30 minutes, an hour of your time, free time. Invest that time and build upon it, because that return investment, I'm telling you, that return investment is well worth it.
What's your favorite comic book character of all time? Spider Man, definitely.
Spider Man.
It would definitely. He goes back. He's one of the most profitable for Marvel. So
Yeah.
what you gonna?
If I had to choose like which series that I like the
Mhm.
most, Spider Man, the Ultimate one, the one with the Ultimate Universe, old one with Brian Michael Bendis.
Okay.
That's my go-to series.
All right. Definitely. All right. Spidey in the house. All right. How do you feel about AI and this new revolution that we're in now?
Not a fan. I've always been a person where, especially for the artists,
They're
it
feeling it.
may
They're feeling
it's the worst, and I think it's rather an insult to the creative team because for me, the comic books, the creation of comic books is more like a team effort. When you got your writer, you got your artist, you got if you have a colorist, whoever the people on your team. I think it's an insult because they spend these are the same people that spend all their time, all their money trying to make a good quality book or product, and then for you to just kind of like use artificial intelligence to make to jumpstart all that in seconds, and just to make something that's, for me, because a lot of times I've seen people that do AI comic book pages. The pages are never consistent. Art style is
nowhere
always
there. It's
different.
nowhere there.
At the end of the day, it looks ugly. It's like I
That's
can't get
crazy.
with it because the art just looks terrible. So
Well, I like to
that's
end
it.
the show up with a little game I call this or that. It's no right
Okay.
answer. It's just various nerd topics or popular culture topics, and I just ask you this or that. You pick which one which one you jacking, which one you rocking with. All right. So
Okay.
this first one is Sega or
Nintendo,
all right. The next one is Xbox or
PlayStation.
all right. Next one, Marvel or DC. Marvel. All right. Next one, Avengers or X Men.
Ooh, I would say
X Men. All right. Thanos or Darkseid.
I'm gonna say Dark
Darkseid.
Side. Yeah,
Don't they have both the same creators?
technically, because they're both by Jack Kirby. I think.
Yeah, but Jack Kirby. I'm hearing some story. Jack
I
Kirby
believe
was a
so.
little mad when he made Darkseid, so he kind of made them the same.
Yeah, I think Jack Kirby, he jumped between both brands, and Jack Kirby was also the one that created the Dark Side, his little minions. So I would say
Okay.
I would say that I had to research it more, but I believe he's responsible for creating the big
Nah,
bad.
there's heavy similarities between the two. I see Jim Lee talking about manga, making this little speech in the community. So, what are you, manga or American comic book?
It's tough because I like both mediums.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I would say American more. 'Cause I feel
Mm.
like the manga is really good, but the American stuff I like a little better because they have like the colorists. Like there's different art styles that I prefer the manga stuff, but I love the manga for the story, as for the storytelling sometimes. So I'm
Yes, that's
gonna
what
say
it is.
American.
All right. So, frosted flakes or cornflakes?
Frosted Flakes,
All right. French toast or pancakes?
French toast.
I'm a French toast guy too. Pepsi or Coke?
Is there a difference? I
I
guess there
don't
is.
know. I never. Well, there is to me.
We had it's funny. We
Slight,
had this.
very slight.
Me and my brother had this argument because we are trying to debate whether it's good because one tastes sweeter and one doesn't. For me, they both
Coke is sweeter,
taste.
no?
I don't know. My brother said that Pepsi is sweeter. I'm like I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
sure. So
Coke
it
is sweeter and Pepsi got a little zing, like a funny zing. I don't know, man.
yeah.
Mental sometimes. They all
I'm just go with I'm familiar with. I'll go with
Pepsi. All right.
I'll do
Let's
Pepsi.
see. Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Everybody with prep time, right?
Yeah.
Anything's possible with prep time. Biggie or
Yeah.
Tupac?
Biggie.
All right. Where would you rather live, Wakanda or Asgard?
Wakanda.
Thundercats or Transformers?
Thundercats.
And he's Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan. Yeah.
Who you
No,
got?
Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, man. And as much as I'm a LeBron James fan, I could give him everything except that one.
Yeah.
I give him that one, man. You got to help me take his number 2.
Yeah.
And what's your Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore. So Batman, Wolverine, and I think on put Superman on there. Yeah, Superman.
Definitely. That's a hard one right there.
Yeah.
So we'll take it like that. Listen, everybody. This is Tariq Holmes from TDJ Comic Studio. Tariq, do you do any comic book creation for other people or just for your titles?
Yes, and I've done a few covers with Cocker Comics. I did Solar, the Sovereign. Also with Fourth Wall Productions, that's Blade, and I did some. Well, I also did a comic book, Wind Productions, which is Journey Through the North of Wind. I'm sure there's a select more combos that I can't think, but yes, I
All
worked
right.
with.
So you do
others.
sequential paneling, cut, and animation.
And animation.
So everybody,
Yes.
please lunch your art. We have covers. If you have covers for anything, you need any variant covers for any titles that you got coming out. If you need any intro, if you need any animation, trailers, or anything of that sort, hit up TZJ so you can give you a pricing according to what it is that you. And don't forget, we have the Kickstarter now live. Atlas, the Edge of Rebellion. We have a 4-issue omnibus in there. We have posters. We have variant covers. We have stickers. We have the works. I'm telling you, you're going to love Atlas. The artwork is amazing because without great, amazing artwork, it is just a novel. So I know the artwork is going to draw you in, and hopefully the story keeps you there, like Tariq said. Don't miss this Kickstarter. You're going to get all the exclusive stuff. And if you never read anything, this is the best way to get acquainted because you're getting everything from the beginning up to what we're dealing with now. And you're getting behind the scene goodies as if you were buying DVDs back in the days. You're getting the power structure, what the powers are of the characters. You're getting character posters and photos of what they are, seeing them in action and what it is that they're capable of. So you'll be fully in tune with the universe and what's going on with the story. So this is Tariq Holmes, TDJ Comics. This is Bristol Media Group, episode 3 of Indie Creators Assemble. And do remember, go and follow that Kickstarter for Atlas, Edge of Rebellion. We are signing off here on Friday, February 6th. Happy Black History Month. We got Black creators on, so stick with us.